another like September's watercolor demo live. I am loving the time that I have to spend with you on showing both my love of watercolor with you, and I'm happy that you guys are all. It feels like the group is just doing fabulous. I love the art that's coming out, and I love the 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 members. For sure, the members are just a riot. It's so much fun to listen to your comments. I don't always comment on everything, but I am definitely seeing lots of things, and it just makes my heart happy that we have this group of like 20, almost like, I think we're at 23,000 members, that we can all share creativity with, and it's just so much fun. So anyways, thank you for making this group so awesome, because it is an awesome group and I just love it. And if you have any issues or anything that you want to talk to me about, feel free to message me. I message people often, or I will get messages from people often on the group, and it's just a wonderful community, and you guys have made it like wonderful. So I wanted to just kind of take a step back and just kind of paint and relax and just have fun. Last week's demo was on watercolor brush pens, which I absolutely love. And this week I thought I would do something completely different and kind of share like the night sky, how to get a moon to look right, how to get the clouds and the different shades of blue and purples, and it can be kind of tricky if you're not used to working in darker colors. So in no way, shape, or form is this going to be a lesson. It's just going to be a demo, but I wanted to show you how I like to paint my night skies in a very rough, simple card thing. So when you don't know what to paint, I always go to clouds or trees or the beach, just something like that. And so I thought I would do the sky for today and show you kind of what I like. So I'm going to use, I kind of have this blue stuff happening. If you have any questions, pop in the chat. I look at the chat feed often, and welcome if you just are joining. Anyway, so this is indigo. I almost always use indigo as a first wash because it's just beautiful. I love how it like moves on the paper, and it just, I don't know, there's just something about indigo paint that just makes my heart happy. So I start at one corner and I kind of work my way down and over. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm just letting it kind of whoosh on the paper. I love watching watercolor. Just kind of do its thing on the paper. It makes my heart happy. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna let it just kind of chill. If you are interested in learning more about watercolor cards, I am in the middle of our monthly classes that I'm offering, and we just finished, well, this is kind of doing its thing. I'll show you my cards while it's drying, but I don't want to finish it. But anyways, I do monthly watercolor card classes, and they are so much fun, and we have a hoot. I always come away feeling like, oh, we are doing something fun, and that's what it's all about. It's fun and getting creative, and I always feel like afterwards my heart is just so happy because I got to teach the joy of watercolor to friends. So I'm just letting it kind of play on the paper. I'm dripping water all over. It looks kind of messy, but it's really not. It's really quite lovely. But this is going to give it the look of like a misty sky. See how it already looks like a misty sky already? And all I did was just put paint to paper, and it just makes this lovely little bit of beautifulness. All right, because it's still wet, and I'm going to add some of the cerulean blue. It's a beautiful blue. And then I'm going to actually add some electric blue. This is my electric blue, and I'm going to add it to kind of the indigo. The electric blue from Daniel Smith, if you are curious. And I'm just going to add that. I'm going to try and do the same brush strokes. It doesn't always happen because now it's like getting wet, so I'm going to kind of do some splattering. Be sure to keep the whites white because I do want to keep this misty night sky thing going. But I can always, basically what I want is I want a frame so it looks like moonlight's poking through the clouds or something. Doesn't have to be too incredibly technical. And maybe I want this to be dark too. I will probably later, once it's dry, so after the demo, I'll probably put a stamp on it and show you kind of that. But it's really just a variegated wash. It's a very simple. This is a 4 by 5 1/4, or 5 1/4 card panel, perfect for A2 size. And I'm just adding. All right, so while that's doing its thing, I'm going to let it dry pretty much. I don't want any harsh lines, so I'm going to use my brush and try and get rid of those harsh lines if I have any. Again, we're looking for like clouds and fun things and nothing too harsh. I am going to add some more of this electric blue. It's going to remind me of the stars. And yeah, that's a lot of splatter, and that could look quite intimidating if you don't know what to do with all that splatter, but I'll show you. You just take water on your brush and you smooth it out, and then you still get that iridescent quality, but you're just smoothing it out. It's so much fun. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. I could spend hours making cloud, like night sky. Anyways, that's good. If I do anything more to it, it's gonna start like looking like I did more than I need to. So while that's drying, I thought I would show you a couple cards that I've created recently, very recently. So I'll show these in just a second. All right, so I have been working on a watercolor card class, and a couple of our members are in this class. Anyone's able to invite. I have openings for next month, starting in October, and I'll show you some of the cards that we're going to do in October. But here's the cards that I made for this month. It does seem like a hodgepodge. It's not. I had 4 florals, 4 landscapes, 4 like summery, all occasion sort of themes, and then 4 Christmas cards, because I know that a lot of people are looking to make Christmas cards. So anyways, this was a floral card that I did, and we used a variegated wash, and then we used a dye. When you register for my class, you get the card packet to make all the things for the cards, which is kind of nice. Here's one that is just basically a simple wash, and I showed how to use splatter efficiently so you don't always get splatter in the middle. There's a couple of different techniques for that. Here's one where we drew a simple daisy or sunflower or whatever you want to call it. This could look like a coneflower too. And I talked about color theory and texture, how to get that texture in your cards, and it was so much fun. I love to paint the sky. Like I said, when I don't know what to paint, I always paint the sky, and I usually paint the beach to go with it because I love painting in watercolor skies and water because it works well. Here was a color play that we did, and then I just made it into a card. Something very artistic, but a little bit unique. It's just a fun little exercise, but usually fun little exercises can almost always be turned into a card. So that was why that was there. And then we did a beautiful, like a frosty, snowy type card, our season's greetings. So those that maybe don't always celebrate Christmas can get a nice card still and handmade by you. So anyways, those are the cards that we just finished. And these are the cards that we're gonna do next week. We're gonna do this butterfly and coneflower, and it's gonna be awesome. I get to talk a little bit more about color theory. And then there's this one. This one's just fun. We kind of work with browns and blacks on value. A lot of it is teaching value in this one. And so that's super fun. This one is one of my favorites. I love the stamp. I teach how to get a really fun watery, organic background without it overpowering the actual object. And then I talk about the different reds and why we would choose different reds and how to make a berry red. And then we will finish it off with a landscape card, perfect for the fall. I made this card thinking of actually an anniversary of my uh, father-in-law and mother-in-law. So anyways, there's these cards that we have done. And it's going to be so much fun. And then I also show sometimes how I like to paint simple, like 10-minute warm-up exercises. And this was a warm-up exercise that we just did to start painting. So, now that that is dry, anyways, check out I will give you the link to my, on how to get into my watercolor cards if you're interested. Really just message me. You can message me just from clicking on my name and then just say, hey, I want to be in your watercolor card class. And I will say, awesome, here is information. And I'll send you a whole bunch of information. The price is $80 for the class for the whole month. It's every Thursday in the morning. However, if there's a lot of interest, I will change the date to a different day or add what I would call workshop classes. So maybe you just want to learn how to paint pine trees or the night sky in different ways. I would be able to offer in a workshop like that as well. I'm just trying to see what is working for our group and having fun while we're at it. So I'm just adding some beautiful indigo onto the card without much water. It's very buttery at this point. If you if you take some of my classes, when I say buttery or milky or tea, that's the different types of consistency. I'll show you with some watercolor paper. So when I say buttery, it's pretty thick. It is like you're not really able to see the paper. But if I say milky, that means there's a little bit more water to it, and you can still kind of see the paper, but it's a lighter value. You can see that, right? I'm gonna turn off this light so there's maybe less shadow. I don't know. That might be better. Maybe it's worse. And then tea, like just tea, that means it's really light. Not still not tea. It's almost like you just, yeah, it's just a nice little wash. So that's what I mean by the different consistencies. I was working in tea, and now I'm in the buttery part of the milky part of it. Sometimes my light doesn't like me, and it will fall. Anyways, there. I'm going to leave that alone, and now I can add whatever I want. But I really want to add a stamp. I just want to stamp something. This is just a simple, like almost like a warm-up, but what I hope to do is stamp this stamp. This is a stamp by Blue Night Stamps, and it's two different stamps. So you get the wolf and the hill together, and then you get the tree and the owl together. So you could like mix and match. You don't have to use the tree. You could just use the wolf. I think that's a wolf. Anyways, it looks like a wolf. Anyways, we're gonna make this card in particular for our card class, and so when you get a card pack, you'll have this image stamped on white watercolor paper, and then I'll go through how I actually made this card. And you'll also get this stuff to put the sentiment on. You just have to worry about adhesive, really, and your paint and your brushes. So I give you everything to make it, but you have to add the color and the adhesive to it. So it's really quite a fun class. I've had some really good positive feedback on it. So if you're interested, do it. But I'm going to stamp this image onto here once it's dried, and while I'm waiting for that to dry, here's a couple more sneak peeks from that we're gonna do next month. This is my this is called Chip and Charlie stamp, and I love this because it just makes it happy. I'll show you how I painted the background, and then I'll give you all the pieces to make the actual card. This is a super fun card. I have been in a plaid mood lately, so I thought, okay, I need to do one more plaid card. So I showed you how I'm gonna share with you how to make a plaid in watercolor, and then how to actually use a simple die cut and paint it to make it look more realistic, and then you get this quite a nice lovely card to go for a birthday present. We're also into the Christmas spirit Christmas season and spirit, so I will be doing a lot of Christmas cards, and this is one of them. Basically the point of this tutorial is to show how I like to paint my winter trees with a very fun gradient background, and then I'll show you how I like to paint like birds just very simply. You can see that the shapes are pretty simple, but it's quite a lovely card to make and give to somebody. So anyways, those are some of the cards that we're gonna make next month in October. Just message me if you are interested, because I cannot wait. So because I know that the stamp that I'm going to use, which I'll show you, I'm going to want to paint this darker. So I'm going to get one more, and I'm probably just going to, this is like a very buttery consistency. It's very much water indigo at its best. And I'm going to just kind of blend that around so it looks very much like the foreground of something starting. And I'm going to blend that in the ground. Maybe it's fog, maybe it's, I don't know, mist. I'm going to just keep doing that there. I like that. And then I think I'm going to do a couple like wispy clouds right here, maybe right here. Yeah, thanks, Patricia. Yes, you will definitely be able to rewatch the whole thing. It's going to be recorded. So the way I like to paint clouds is I'll start with like a line. It doesn't matter, just put a line down. Not a full, but like a wispy line, like a cloud line. And then I just kind of smooth out the water. And then that way, like I know I'm going to need some more clouds right up in here, I think. It looks like it needs more clouds, so I'm going with it. And I'll just add, and that's going to dry lighter, but it's also going to give it that misty look, and that's what I'm looking for. So, and I think I'm going to do a couple right here, but I really wanted to add some purple. I don't think it's too late to add purple, but I would definitely err on the side of caution. And I like to go, I like to go really purpley really fast. And maybe that was too much purple. That was probably too much purple, but that's okay. Watercolor is all about playing with what you got and seeing what works. And so I'm going to dry my brush and just kind of smooth it out a bit. And then I'm going to add some more of that here. So now what I'm getting is I'm layering, so it's looking more and more like a misty moonlight night, and that's what I'm looking for. And I like adding just a little bit of purple. I don't want to add too much, but I do think it needs a little bit of purple down here. And I'm just barely touching the paper, but I want to be able to. And I think this is the widest white. I'm going to leave that where that is. But I also want to just chill. Okay, so I'm going to let that be. When it dries, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use that stamp. This is a Blue Night stamp. Let me see if I can't find it. It's right here. I'm going to take this stamp. This is the This is the wolf with the hill. I'm going to stamp that right here. And then I'm going to stamp this probably right here. Maybe the tree's coming up a little bit. And then that's good to go. But if you want to know how to paint a misty moon, join my class. We have lots of fun. You get all, like, when you sign up for my class, you get the whole month of watercolor cards in a package. I mail it to you, and then every weekday, or sorry, every Thursday we have class, and so we will do 4 to 5 class cards each class, depending on the time, depending on what we want to do during that class. It's just a lot of fun and very informative, but also very laid back. Like, I think you guys would enjoy it. And I keep it very laid back because I don't want it to be I want it to be fun. And I'm just there was this bloom going and I didn't love it, so I knew if I didn't change it right now, it was going to look funny when it dries. So I'm just taking a clean damp brush, cleaning my brush off, and then trying to get some of that indigo paint to get up from the paper. But you can kind of see how this is looking like a really fun night sky. I'm excited to stamp it once it's dried, but it's going to take me probably 20 minutes for it to dry. So when it dries, I will take a picture of it and send it and post it with the video. But if you have any questions, let me know. I'm sure happy to paint every Thursday at 1 o'clock standard or Central Standard Time is when I plan on doing demos, and they're just gonna be short and simple 20-minute-ish videos, almost as if you were in my class. But of course, if you were in my class, you would be able to have access to the stamped panel. But I wanted to show you how that worked, and if you have questions, let me know. I'm an open book. I love reading your comments, and I love seeing your wonderful creations. Keep posting and keep being kind to each other, because that's what creativity is all about. And I will catch you guys later.